The human body is an amalgamation of around 37.2 trillion cells who are all working together all day, every day, to keep you alive and well. It's like an entire world in and of itself, but do we even care what's going on inside ourselves? Not really. Most of the time we're too stressed and psyched from the hustle and bustle of our outside lives to pay any heed to the random red blood cell who's doing her best to transport oxygen throughout our body. But if there's one thing that can make you care, then it's an anime about all the red blood cells, white blood cells, platelets, and other groups who work hard and work sincerely for your sake. Very well then, shall we take a peek inside of you and see what's going on? A cute and clumsy red blood cell does her oxygen delivery as usual, but just then a group of pneumococcus bacteria emerge from the ground and declare that they will be taking over this place. Since, it's all nice and cozy. Unlucky for them, a tall and handsome white blood cell, a neutrophil, to be more precise, shows up to save the day. He just brutally murders those guys and gets himself all stained in blood. That's right, before the bacteria gang could terrorize the street, this stud shows up and destroys all of them single-handedly, cleans the entire scene. When our clumsy red blood cell appreciates him for saving her, he says he was just doing his job, but make sure to follow up with a sincere, "You're welcome." Moving on, the clumsy red blood cell loiters around in your body, trying to find the lungs, but we're good since there is a map room. She opens the door and closes it right back when she catches a glimpse of another one of those snarky bacteria guys from before. If he is in the map room, he's up to no good, but he better not be looking for the lungs. And this one has anger issues. He smashes the wall, yells at her for closing the door right back, and then starts chasing her down. But once again, the Chad white blood cell appears right on time to pulverize the bacteria. Only this time he releases a smokescreen and bails. This is serious because a pneumonia coccus will divide if left to roam free, and it'll eventually lead to a collapse in the form of diseases like pneumonia, among others. Plus, they also have these things called capsules, which are just completely bad news. At this point in the conversation, your clumsy red blood cell reveals that she's on her way to the lungs, but he explains that this is kidney. Whatever. He has to chase down the bacteria anyway, which is why he takes her there as well. They run, and as they are running, he continues to explain the sheer terror of the situation and how fatal it can be if this bacteria isn't taken out. To put it simply, it can actually kill the world, or in this case, your human body. Clumsy girl and Chad guy make their way through a dendrite tree because that's essentially a shortcut to the lungs, but there they find the tunnel closed. It's occupied by cute and adorable little platelets who explain the situation, how the delivery team made a mistake, and now they have to unload the cargo. Seeing them struggle to open those big boxes is pretty adorable, and I guess our protagonists agree with me on this one. They help them unload the boxes and they continue their way to the lungs. Suddenly, there's a news broadcast where Helper T-Cell informs everyone about the pneumonia coccus that is on the run within the blood vessels. But the good news is that the Killer T Division is on their way, and so no one has anything to worry about. The Killer T Division also classifies under the white blood cells. They scare the living life out of our clumsy red blood cell when they mention how the bacteria is going to suck her dry of all the nutrients, but it'll be alright. They're just mocking her. That's all. Now, all this time, our Chad buddy's receptor was constantly shaking. It happens only when the bacteria is nearby, but after he parts ways with the clumsy girl, he notices how it has just suddenly stopped. Yup, there's definitely something off about this. The girl herself is on her way deep into the lungs together with the box she was carrying. She still doesn't understand the direction very much, and has to ask a senpai for help. Finally, when she is at the spot, she starts wondering about the pneumonia coccus, and prays that she doesn't run into him. Well, right then, at that very moment, someone cuts the box from the inside and reveals itself. It's him, the bacteria. Now everything makes sense. All this time he was hiding inside the box because that would be a surefire way to reach the lungs. This is also why our boy's receptor suddenly stopped shaking after he bid farewell to the clumsy girl. It instantly starts wreaking havoc, and it looks like our clumsy red blood cell is about to meet her end. But just then, he shows up. Yeah, the Chad white blood cell is here to save the day for the third time in a row. When he notices how his receptor has stopped shaking, he deduced exactly what's going on and went after them. But just like how it's the job of the cells to keep your body in its optimal condition, it's the job of the bacteria to wreck you from the inside. Neither side is willing to give up on their destiny, so a battle takes place. It's hard to just kill the coccus because of his shell, but the Chad cell thinks on his feet and lures the bacteria into a trap. The trap in this case is the respiratory tract. The coccus didn't know that he was getting lured and ends up stepping onto the red line, which initiates an alarm. The Chad cell presses a button which confines the bacteria into a shell. The two of them enjoy some hot tea as the bacteria is placed into a missile and thrown right out. Or in simpler words, you quite literally sneezed him out of your wonderful body. They part ways once again after the conflict is resolved, but nothing has ended for either of them. Not one thing has ended. Later today, tomorrow, or at any point in time, yet another bacterium would try to plague and terrorize your body, and when that time comes, remember that these guys have your back. That's why, for better or worse, this story continues. In the episodes that follow, great events take place. A scrape wound breaks the vessels, there is an influenza virus that needs wiping out, a case of food poisoning, cedar pollen, allergy, and even cancer cells. The story is jam-packed with juicy information about your body. Cells at Work is a wonderful anime that explores the wonders of the human body. The characters can be silly, shy, scared, yet also bold, brave, and ruthless. It is an essay on human biology and is fresh enough that it never feels boring. If you enjoyed this video, you're definitely going to enjoy the anime as well. There are 2 seasons with 21 episodes in total, and there is also a spin-off series which takes place in a different human body. It isn't as wholesome and delightful as the actual series, since this body needs more dire management because of depression and addictions. There's liver failure, results of excessive smoking, alcohol abuse, heart attack, and whatnot. So if you want to see the impact of addictions on one's health in real time, you need to watch the spin-off. All in all, Cells at Work is phenomenal as a story, not just for what it brings to the table, but also for its comical and refreshing nature. You do not want to miss out on this one. Now, what do you guys think of Cells at Work? Have you watched it already? Are you planning on watching it? Share your thoughts in the comments section down below, and also let me hear what you think of this recap. As you can see, we only covered the start of the series to give you an idea of what Cells at Work is about, whether this anime is for you. Feel free to also drop any other anime you want me to cover in a similar format. I'll go through your suggestions and even tag you when I get to the anime you suggested. A sincere like and subscribe can go a long way for your karma. Just saying. Very well then. With that said, I'll see you guys in my next video.